Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for another brand new video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the last of the latest wave of Star Wars Black Series figures. We're going to be taking a look at Taun We from Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. So let's take a quick look at the packaging and then we'll move on to the figure itself. So taking a look at the box first of all, as usual, it's the standard Black Series packaging that we all come to expect with new releases. It's in the red motif to signify it's an Attack of the Clones release. It's got Taun We on the right. She is number 13 in that particular series. Then moving on to the side, we've got the very nice mural art. That looks really cool. That's of course then repeated on the back of the packaging along with a small write-up about the character. So here we have the figure itself. As you can see, it's quite a faithful representation of the Kamino and Taun We in action figure form. Now the character selection we already know has been off the chain with this wave. That being said, Taun We is the more bare bones release of the three this time around, but by no means does she suffer for that. I think the details have had extra attention paid towards them, so we will take a look at those first. It's a little difficult to get into frame because she's extremely long, but I will do my best. So as you can see, the details on the head sculpt are very sharp in sculpt. You can see the eyes and the ears detailed very nicely. The headband has been painted. That sculpt also continues down the side of her head towards her neck, which has also got some very nice sculpting detail. If we take a look at the character's body, if the camera's picking it up, I hope you can see the variation in texture used in the sculpt there between the off-white colour and the purple. Very, very nice to see such fine detail in the sculpt. We've then got this pattern on the sleeves of her outfit that goes from the shoulder down to the wrist, where you'll also see the unique sculpt for her hands. Very long, very Kaminoan-like, I suppose. Abdomen section there, very slender in keeping with the proportions. And the belt piece is made of a harder plastic, followed by the skirt, which is soft goods. And then it's had the beige pattern printed on the top. And that follows the figure all the way around. And for those of you that didn't know what Kaminoan legs looked like before this figure released, horse people, apparently. Unique sculpt once again. Very nice. Very simple. That then just lead down to the feet. But you're going to have the skirt covering those most of the time. So that won't be an issue. Like I said, it's a very simple figure, but it's a very nice release and a welcome addition to the Black Series. So here we have Taun We holding the one accessory that she's included with, and that's just a very small data pad. Unfortunately, she doesn't hold on to this very well. I suppose it's a little difficult to get a tight grip due to the hand design, but you can get a pose using it rather nicely. This figure is very elegant, and when posed subtly, it really does display to great effect. I'll just give you a look at the data pad in a little more detail, but it is very basic. It's just a flat grey plastic with a blue printed screen, and then there are some small details such as vents and some panel lining on the top there. But that can just go in a hand like so. Can be a little bit of a balancing act, but once you get it there, it will stay where you put it. And for those of you that have asked to see it, here's Taun We when compared to a regular Phase 1 clone trooper. This should give you an idea of the true scale of this figure, as I know from the preview images when this figure was announced. There were a lot of questions in regards to how tall she was and if it was accurate to the movie. I do think there is a little bit of shrinkage just to get this figure to fit in a Black Series box or to fit the budget for the release, whatever it may be. But I think it works on the shelf. These figures are stood side by side. There's no camera trickery going on. So that is the basis for the scale. This is the 2021 release, I believe, of the Phase 1 Clone Trooper, whenever the first version came out, so the non-removable helmet and before the chest overlay became separate. That's just the first version of the Clone Trooper I had to hand, but hopefully that gives you a good idea of what she'll look like with some of the other figures on your shelf. So finally we'll just run over the articulation that Taun We has. It is a new unique sculpt, therefore I think it's worth mentioning. You guys know I don't normally run through articulation, but for this wave I've made an exception and the feedback's been pretty positive, so we'll keep it rolling with this one. So for the head, that's on a ball joint, but there is a small range of motion there, and then you've got another ball joint in the base of the neck, which is very nice to see. Allows for a lot of range of movement. The shoulders are on ball joints and can also subtly drop down, similar to the Geonosian Warrior that we took a look at in the last video. So if this is a new articulation point that Hasbro are including with their figures, it is a very welcome inclusion and I'm happy to see it. Just adds to that subtle movement for certain poses. Then the elbows are on a simple ball hinge, and we've got the return of the ball hinge wrists, which I'm a huge fan of. I think these work really, really well, and I love to see them included in the line. The upper torso is also on a ball joint. Very limited range of movement, but again, you're not going to have this figure in action poses. It's all for subtle movements, so I think it works. And then we've also got a ball joint that's got quite a lot of movement in the base of the torso. Hips are ball jointed, although you can't see. We've got ball hinges at the knees, and then ball hinges at the ankles, which do pivot side to side. So just wrapping up on Taun We from the latest wave of the Black series now. I think it's a very, very cool figure. Again, it's a simple release, but very effective, and I think there's an overall positive attitude from the community towards this release. I think there's a lot of excitement, as Kaminoans are figures that we've been requesting for some time now, so it's really good to see the mould be created for the line, and I hope that that means we can see other characters in the line moving forward, such as Lama Su, and something that I would be very excited to get is Nala Se from the Bad Batch. I think that would be a very good inclusion to the Black series, especially since we haven't really got many Bad Batch figures spanning the second and third season. So fingers crossed for that one going forward. So thank you all for watching once again. Thank you so much for the show of support on my recent videos. I'm always overwhelmed when you guys show up for these new reviews. I'm by no means perfect at it, but it is always very much appreciated, and I do try my best to give you the best possible look at new releases. I hope to have some new figures to review shortly. I'm not sure when the next drop's going to be, so stay tuned to the channel, click subscribe, like the video, head over to Instagram and follow me there, and you'll be amongst the first to see when I get new figures in. So thank you all once again. I will catch you in the next video. May the force be with you always.